I'm 78 years old, and I need to tell you something that nobody told me when I was your age. And before you scroll past this, before you think this is just another old woman talking about regret, listen to me for a moment, because what I'm about to say could save you decades of quiet sadness, years of exhaustion you don't even realize you're carrying yet, and a lifetime of wondering where you went. For most of my life, I thought being a good woman meant saying yes to everyone. I thought love sounded like agreement. I thought strength looked like endurance. I thought being needed meant being valued. My husband, my children, my parents, my friends, my boss. I said yes, even when my body said no. I smiled even when something inside me felt heavy. I thought that's what love looked like. I thought that's what strength looked like. I was wrong about everything. You see, I spent 60 years of my life trying to be perfect. Not happy, not fulfilled, perfect. The perfect wife, the perfect mother, the perfect daughter, the perfect employee. And perfection is exhausting when it's built on self-erasure. And you know what I got for it? Exhaustion, resentment, and a life that didn't feel like mine. I didn't know how to describe that feeling back then. All I knew was that sometimes I'd look at my own hands and think, these hands have done so much for everyone else, but what have they done for me? But 7 years ago, something happened that changed everything. My husband died. After 42 years of marriage, he was gone. And in a single moment, the role I had lived inside for decades disappeared. And for the first time in my adult life, I was alone. Completely alone. And I was terrified. Not because I missed him, though I did. Grief has layers. Love doesn't vanish just because life ends. But because I realized I had no idea who I was without him. That realization hits harder than loneliness. It hits your identity. I had spent my entire life being someone's something, someone's wife, someone's mother, someone's helper. But who was I? What did I actually want? What made me happy? I couldn't answer those questions, and that scared me more than anything. Let me take you back. When I was 22, I got married. It was 1968. Different times, you understand. Women didn't have the choices you have today. Or at least we didn't think we did. That's important. We didn't think we did. Belief can be a cage even when the door is unlocked. My mother told me, a good husband is all you need. Everything else will follow. So I married him, a nice man, a good provider. And I became the good wife. I cooked, I cleaned, I raised the children, I supported his career. I smiled when I was supposed to smile. I stayed quiet when I was supposed to stay quiet. And the thing is, I wasn't unhappy. Not exactly. That's how it happens. It doesn't start with misery. It starts with compromise that feels reasonable. I loved my children. I enjoyed parts of my life, but there was always this voice in the back of my head asking, is this it? Is this all there is? That voice doesn't shout. It whispers, and whispers are easy to ignore. I ignored that voice for 40 years. When I was 35, I wanted to go back to school. That desire didn't come out of nowhere. It had been living quietly inside me for years, waiting for a moment when it felt safe to speak up. I'd always loved literature. Books were my escape. They were the place where women lived full lives, where thoughts mattered, where voices weren't interrupted or dismissed. I dreamed of teaching, standing in front of a classroom, guiding young minds, being known for what I knew, not just for what I gave. But my husband said we couldn't afford it. The words were practical, reasonable, calm, and somehow final. The children needed me. That sentence carries weight. It always does. Maybe later, he said. So I waited. and waiting became a habit. Waiting teaches you how to put your dreams on a shelf and convince yourself they'll still be there later, untouched by time. When the kids were grown, when you brought it up again, my heart lifted when I said it out loud, like maybe this time the answer would be different. But then he was thinking about retirement. We'd need to help with his parents, maybe in a few years. So I waited again. Do you see the pattern forming yet? Life doesn't block you with walls. It distracts you with responsibilities. When I was 55, his parents had passed. I thought, now it's my turn. That moment felt electric, like standing at the edge of something that might finally be mine. But our daughter got divorced. She needed help with the grandchildren. How could I think about myself when my family needed me? That question haunted me. It sounded noble. It sounded loving. But it was also a quiet betrayal of myself. So I waited again. And here's the cruel truth. Waiting slowly teaches you to disappear without anyone noticing, including yourself. And then, at 71, he died. And there was nobody left to wait for. That sentence landed like silence. No excuses left. No delays left. No one else to put first. Here's what nobody tells you about being a woman, especially a woman of my generation. We were taught that self-sacrifice was noble, that putting everyone else first made us good, that our worth came from how much we gave, not from who we were. And it's a lie, a beautiful, terrible lie. Beautiful because it sounds like love, terrible because it costs you your life. Because here's the truth I learned too late. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't love others fully when you don't love yourself. You can't give everything away and expect to have anything left. I gave and gave and gave. And when my husband died, I looked in the mirror and I didn't recognize the woman staring back at me. She looked tired. She looked old. She looked sad. And she looked like a stranger. That moment stays with you. The moment you realize you've been living with yourself for decades, but you don't actually know her. The first year after he died, I was lost. I'd wake up with nothing to do, no one to cook for, no one to serve. For 60 years, my identity had been wrapped up in other people, and when those roles vanished, so did my sense of purpose. Or so I thought. But then something happened. About 18 months later, I found a letter he'd written before we married. In it, he talked about my intelligence, my curiosity, how he couldn't wait to see what I would accomplish. I sat on the floor, holding that letter, and I cried. Not just for him, but for me. Because that girl he'd fallen in love with, I'd buried her. Not all at once, but slowly, over the years. I'd put her dreams aside. I'd told myself I was being selfless, but really I was disappearing. That realization hurts more than regret. It hurts because you can finally see yourself clearly. That's when I made a decision, a quiet decision, not dramatic, not announced, but firm. I was 72 years old, and I decided it wasn't too late. That sentence alone goes against everything we're taught about age. Society whispers that time has passed, that opportunity belongs to the young. I refused to believe it. I enrolled in community college, literature classes, art history, philosophy, things I'd always wanted to study, things that once felt forbidden, things that once felt selfish, things that finally felt like home. I was the oldest in my classes, but I didn't care. At first I was nervous. I worried they'd stare. I worried I wouldn't belong. Then something surprising happened. For the first time in decades, I felt alive. Not young, alive. There's a difference. I started traveling. Small trips at first. Places I'd always wanted to see. Places I'd only seen in books or postcards. Places that reminded me the world was still wide and waiting, and it was wonderful. I started saying no. This was hardest, because saying no felt like breaking a rule I'd lived by my entire life. My children would call, "Sorry, I have plans." And I'd pause after saying it, waiting for guilt to crash into me. It didn't. My friends would invite me to things I didn't want to do. No thank you. And you know what? The world didn't end. People adjusted, and I felt lighter. That's when I learned something no one ever told me. Boundaries don't push people away. They show people where you end. I'm 78 now, and I finally know who I am. Not somebody's wife, not somebody's mother, just me. A woman who loves literature and art, who enjoys her own company, who travels when she wants, who says no when she means no, and yes when she means yes. That clarity is priceless. It's the reward of finally choosing yourself. But here's the heartbreaking part. I wasted so much time. 60 years of my life I spent being who I thought I should be, instead of who I wanted to be. 60 years of putting myself last. 60 years of shrinking myself to make room for everyone else. And I can never get those years back. That truth sits heavy. Regret doesn't scream. It settles quietly in your chest. So let me tell you what I wish someone had told me when I was 20, when I was 30, when I was 40. You are not selfish for having dreams. You are not selfish for wanting things for yourself. You are not selfish for saying no. You are not selfish for taking care of yourself first. Read that again. Let it sink in. Because guilt has been lying to you. You think you have all the time in the world. You think, I'll do it later. After the kids are grown, after I retire, when things calm down. But things never calm down. There's always another reason to wait. Another person who needs you. Another obligation. And before you know it, you're 70 years old and you've never lived for yourself. Not once. That's the moment I don't want you to reach. Don't make my mistake. Don't think this is just a sad story from someone older than you. Don't assume it doesn't apply because your life feels different. This is how it starts, quietly, reasonably, one compromise at a time. Don't wait for permission to live your own life, because that permission will never come. Nobody's going to tell you it's okay to be yourself. Nobody's going to say, now it's your turn. You have to take it. You have to claim it. If you want to go back to school, go. Don't talk yourself out of it. Don't minimize it. Don't convince yourself it's impractical. Don't wait until your kids are older or your schedule is clearer. Do it now. If you want to change careers, change. Don't wait for the perfect moment or until you've saved enough money or until everyone approves. Do it now. Because the perfect moment never arrives. Approval rarely comes. And fear always finds a reason to stay. If you're in a relationship that makes you feel small, leave. Don't stay because you've already invested so much time, or because you're afraid of being alone, or because you think it's too late to start over. It's not too late. It's never too late. Your life is not a practice run. This is it. This is the only one you get. And every day you spend living for someone else is a day you're not living for yourself. I know what you're thinking. But what about my family? What about my responsibilities? What about being a good person? And I'm telling you, you can be a good person and still have boundaries. You can love your family and still have your own life. You can fulfill your responsibilities and still pursue your dreams. In fact, you'll be a better mother, a better wife, a better daughter, a better friend, when you're living authentically. Because you can't give from a place of resentment. You can't love others when you're angry at yourself for giving up your dreams. The women in my generation, we were taught to be small, to be accommodating, to smooth things over, to never make waves. And we did it. We did it so well that we disappeared. That sentence hurts because it's true. We didn't vanish suddenly. We faded, but you don't have to. You have choices we didn't have. You have opportunities we didn't have. Don't waste them trying to be perfect. Don't waste them trying to please everyone. Because here's the truth. You'll never please everyone. There will always be someone who thinks you're being selfish. There will always be someone who's disappointed. There will always be someone who wants more from you. But the only opinion that really matters is yours. Can you look at yourself in the mirror and be proud of who you see? Not because of what you've done for others, not because of how much you've sacrificed, but because you're living a life that feels true to you. I look at young women today, and I see them making the same mistakes I made, saying yes when they mean no, putting their dreams on hold for their partners or their children or their parents, shrinking themselves to fit into someone else's idea of what a woman should be. And I want to shake them. I want to tell them, stop right now. Your dreams matter. Your voice matters. You matter. Not because of what you do for others, but because you exist. It took me 72 years to learn that lesson. 72 years to realize that I was allowed to take up space, that I was allowed to have desires, that I was allowed to choose myself. Don't take 72 years. Learn it now, today, this moment. Your younger self is depending on you, and your older self will thank you. I'm 78 years old. I've been living for myself for only 6 years, 6 years out of 78. And these have been the best 6 years of my life. I'm happier now than I was at 30. I'm more myself now than I've ever been. I'm finally free. But I would give anything to have these 40 years back. To have started living for myself at 35 instead of 72. To have said no when I meant no. To have pursued my dreams when I first had them. To have taken up space instead of shrinking. You still have time. You have so much time. But only if you start now. Only if you stop waiting for permission. Only if you stop putting yourself last. Your life is happening right now, not later, not when things are easier, not when everyone else is taken care of, right now. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to live it for yourself? Or are you going to wake up one day at 78 and realize you spent your entire life living for everyone else? The choice is yours, but make it now, because time doesn't wait, and neither should you. If this resonates with you, I hope you'll share it. Not for me, but for every woman who needs to hear this. Every woman who's putting her dreams on hold. Every woman who thinks she's being selfish for wanting more. Every woman who's waiting for permission to live her own life. The permission is granted. Now go live